Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thrive, Not Just Survive. I'm your host, Nasira Jamal, and I just first of all want to thank you all for joining me and for the comments and for the inspiration that you're giving me in running this. And I'm so blessed that I have a platform where we can bring entrepreneurs on, we can bring other speakers on that have a message to share. And as you all know, the reason this channel was born was because I wanted to bring positivity to my social feed and encourage people within the times that we are traveling through, which are quite challenging. I wanted to ensure that we were bringing to the forefront things that are positive, empowering, and that can raise our vibration. So having said that, today I want to just highlight a saying from C.S. Lewis, who said that hardships often prepare ordinary men for an extraordinary destination. And during this time, with not just the pandemic, but the global unrest that is going on, I think that we are being called to become better versions of ourselves and show up and stand up for what is right, for what is just, and for what really inspires us to help not just ourselves and our families, our communities, and globally at large. So today we wanted to dedicate this program to things that people are doing out there that the media perhaps is not covering, because right now, there is a lot of things that are going on that the media is broadcasting that has a lot of people feeling unrest. So we wanted to highlight some stories and things around the globe that are actually, empowering others, and they're beautiful, positive stories. And today, Sharon Fillmore, who's my guest on our Thursday broadcast, is going to share some of that with us. So let me bring her on so we can get this show started. Hey, Sharon, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. Actually, it's been a wonderful week. So all things considered.
Yes, and that's exactly it. Like, all things considered, I mean, there is a lot of unrest. And I have to say before we start that my prayers and love for what the world needs that's how I feel that I can contribute at this point, is just to ensure that I am putting that vibration out into the world of true love and compassion for all of those people that are affected with the pandemic, with the unrest, with the things that are going on. I just feel like we need to really come together as a collective and ensure that we're sending that type of vibration rather than going into the negative vibration and getting pulled down by it. So thank you so much today for sharing this space with us and with the audience of exhibiting things that other people are doing that are actually positive and empowering.
There are so many things out there that are, and as you said earlier, it would be wonderful if everyone got up every morning and just sent love to the whole world and healing. And I know, do it in the way that you would normally do, whether you pray or whether you use Reiki, whatever it is, and that will help because it elevates the vibration of the whole world. And
yes. We are a collective consciousness, and I think sometimes, people kind of, or we all do, kind of get into a very singular mode of it's just us, it's just me, and not realizing how we're contributing to the collective consciousness, which is a vibration. And so, if we're really, looking at personal growth and figuring out a way of how to help, if people are asking, and I know people have sent me messages, well, how do we help? We feel like there's not much we can do. The first thing we can do is just raise our vibration and send out this healing of love. Honestly, it has a huge impact energetically. So I encourage people, like you said, in whatever way that you feel resonance with, whether it's prayer, meditation, whether it's, going into nature and just doing whatever it takes for you to send that kind of love out there is helpful. So let's begin with some of the things that I know you've researched or you've found out about of how this is really people showing up and coming to a place of empowering themselves and others.
Okay. One of the stories that I read that I thought was so beautiful was some of the pilots and the assistants, like I want to say stewardess. So old. Um, what they've done is in England is they have put up 60 sort of they're like lounges, and it's all run on volunteers. There's 4,000 volunteers that are included, and they've done it for the healthcare staff so that they can come in, they get a cup of tea, they have homemade sandwiches and sweets. They have to sit with a magazine, or talk to someone that's, that sort of helps them, which is like really, it's really sweet. It's allowing everyone, not, and it's anyone that works in healthcare, not just the nurses and the doctors, because everyone that's working in the hospitals is overtaxed right now. And then in France, what they do is they actually have massage therapists on on call, and they actually provide massages for the staff, and they also have counselors so that they can go and talk to a counselor. They've got some services as well to help families. Another wonderful thing is there's a gentleman, he owns the British football team. We call it soccer here. And he actually, for the next 2 months, is providing free hotel accommodations for healthcare staff at the Chelsea in England.
And this is so amazing to see people in the community, small businesses, just people showing up and helping their community. And healthcare workers, all of them under that umbrella, are overly taxed to keep us safe. And I think for whatever we can do, and the people that are stepping up is, we need to kind of acknowledge the work that they're doing, for helping, right, the community and the people that they are touching. I think even locally there are a lot of people, that are doing things like, just small things. I'll tell you, like went for a walk and we saw, stones colored, painted with beautiful sayings on it, and they were just all along our path. And it's like children getting involved to inspire others and just bring a smile to somebody's face. So it doesn't have to be anything so grandiose that it's like, oh, well, they can do it, we can't. It's whatever little ways we can send love or positivity into the world.
So some people in Ontario, what they're doing is at 7:30 in the evening, they get out on the street and they bang pots and pans or any noisemakers together to celebrate people in healthcare, to celebrate and to show them their gratitude.
Yeah.
So
I know it's amazing. And I know in New York, I think they were doing it from the balconies.
Yes.
In Manhattan, I believe it was. So I think there are people showing up to, I think, when we acknowledge the service of others, it's twofold, right? It's serving us to make sure that people know that we are acknowledging and we're very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
It also allows them to feel like they're being appreciated, because everybody wants to be appreciated. And the work that they're doing is just, it's amazing, right? And so I think overall, globally, I think you shared with me a story, not just with healthcare, but just people finding love and people, doing things that are really amazing for their families and their communities.
Oh, so let me tell you about this story. That is such a lovely story. It happens in Rome. And it was as the story goes, this young woman's sister is a violinist and would go out on the balcony to play every night, and she would go out and listen to her. And there was a very handsome young man who was always on the balcony opposite them. And he noticed this beautiful young woman beside the person playing the violin. And so they struck up a conversation. And so they're talking to each other all the time, and they couldn't wait social distancing so they could actually go to a park and be closer together. And they think they're madly in love. I think it's sort of a lovely story. So hopefully we'll find out if that's true. It doesn't matter. Love blossoms anywhere.
Yes. And it's for the moment, right? Like whatever happens. But in this moment, this person has found a high vibration feeling that she has, and she's committing to that with whatever that means, right? And so I think that's something we have to realize, that it's only this moment that we have control over and that we can really access. There's nothing, future that we can control. in that way. So we can just live in this moment. And I know, we've all read in personal development how important it is to become part of this moment, which alleviates stress, which alleviates this idea of worrying about, oh my God, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do with this or that? Is just to be grateful for this moment and live that. So I think that's what you're seeing in that story, is just somebody that's enjoying that moment.
Exactly. And it's wonderful to see. I think more and more people are enjoying the moment.
Yes.
And I think it comes true with some of the Zoom online things that are going on. I mean, there's not only millions of networking meetings out there. There's people playing games. They're having brunches and coffee meetups, and there's all kinds of things. It's sort of like, as one person said to it, it's Zoom is finally being used for what it was meant to be used for. Because we're I mean, I don't know how many coffee and brunches and dinners I've had online. We try to have them every week. Families are getting together. An example is just our family is we do a Zoom call every couple of weeks, and we have family from Vancouver to France. Like, they're everywhere. So we actually see each other more than we did before. Those are
as
wonderful.
much as, yeah, exactly. As much as distance may be, physical distance may be something that, we can't really get to, right? But really, technology is making this world so small that we can really connect with anybody, in terms of relationships, and making sure that we either check on people or we connect with our family members, or networking. If you're a business owner, how do you connect? How do you continue to grow your business? How do you continue to help and be of service to others, is all part of the connections that are being made. And they're going to be lasting beyond COVID.
Oh, well beyond COVID. I think that we're really, truly becoming a global world.
Yes.
There's so many things out there. I'd like to tell you about another story, several actually. There's a project called Wingman, and what it is it's like bringing your library home. And there are celebrities, I'm trying to think, who was it? Amy Weinman. There's I'm not sure if Josh Groban was part of it. And what they do is, at a specific time, it gives parents a break. They read them the stories. They read stories to the kids. So often the author of the book will read, or famous people. And it's really nice. It gives parents a respite, because they have time to breathe, because their kids are being read to by a celebrity,
And it's also changing things up. As much as, we are home and it's been almost 3 months, and, we've got to get reading a story or being read to by a celebrity. I wouldn't mind that either as an adult. So I know Robert Munch was up reading. I think, I saw a video on him. And I think as we continue this journey, because we're learning to be creative, and we're learning to look for resources that are out there, and most of them are free. And so, this is where we can really encourage people to start thinking outside of the box.
Exactly.
Look for things that are really entertaining, like virtual zoo visits. My son and I did that, and that was really awesome to be able to connect with a zookeeper and walk through and look at some of the animals and learn a little bit. But it was fun. It was actually a really fun activity to do. So I think this is about being resourceful.
It is. It is. And we're human. We are all very resourceful. Yes. After all, we've been here a long time. We wouldn't have gotten here if we weren't as resourceful as we are. And we're imaginative, and we're creative, and we know how to take all that imagination and creativity and turn it into something tangible.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, right? Like, so as I said before, and I think I said this to you before we started, the media, really, it's all about ratings, and negative news gets way higher ratings than positive news. So you're not likely going to find a lot of positive stories out there on, different news channels and CNN, and they're really just covering the challenges, basically the challenges and the stories that are getting ratings. So I think that if we take control of this situation for our own selves, is create a space where you can discuss positivity, a positive story, something funny that happened, as opposed to repeating what the media is repeating, which is all of the doom and gloom. I am not saying that, it doesn't need a space, because I think we can't also live under a carpet and be in denial mode of what is
Yeah.
actually happening globally. I think that we can attribute to the solutions of that by controlling who we are, what we stand for, and how we move forward with our actions, as opposed to, you know, just talking about the negativity that's out there, which is not helping anybody overall, generally.
No, there's so many positive things. Like there's a pop-up company in California that does online weddings. So they'll do the wedding online, and so there's just the couple and one person standing in, and the minister does these pop-up weddings,
Yeah.
so that people can get married, because life does go on. Right?
Yes, and I think that's a really good point that you raised, that life does go on. And for those that had planned weddings, or those who have had babies and they were going to do baby showers, and I know for my little nephew, you know, we missed it. You know, he was born and we were going to have a welcome party and we weren't able to do it. So, you know, the idea is to become creative and still continue to celebrate those joyous occasions in a different way. You know, I know we attach a lot of it to our traditions and the things that we're used to, but if we can really look at it from, what does that moment mean? What does it really mean, right? And give it value from a very deeper perspective.
It is, yes, exactly. And it's also shows the resilience of the human being, that we're going to carry on with our lives. We're going to do as much as possible within the confines of our situation.
Yes.
And that's really what's happening. I mean, if you think about all the things that are helping people to go on, like schools, like there was one school principal, and what he did was he took all the pictures of the graduates and he blew them up and he put them on huge boards and lined them around the property, so that anytime anyone drove by, they would see them. Another school, what they did was they they used the baseball field, and it was like one of the cities, so they had all of the teachers come out, and then they did social distancing, and they had the students walk by, and the teacher would say all the positive things about the person, which is really kind of like, that's really going above and beyond for like the school board.
That's a really key point, is people are going above and beyond from what they're, you know, it's not even a requirement, or it's so empowering.
No, it isn't.
When that person shows up in that light. And I think that, you know, these things need to be highlighted, because you know, there are graduates that are, you know, students that are going through a lot of turmoil right now, missing graduation proms and things like this. So, you know, when you see other people doing this, I think it empowers others perhaps to come up with ways to help their students, like especially for teachers, right? It really allows them to see things in a different light and think outside the box. I keep saying, think outside the box, right? Because yeah, we're kind of, we are confined sometimes into this box style thinking.
Mm-hmm. And it's true. It's true. And families are thinking outside the box too. I heard of another family who their daughter really wanted to walk across that podium and get her graduation. And so what all of her siblings, her cousins, her aunts and uncles have done is they've all done a video telling her how they're so happy for her graduating, and what they think her wonderful attributes are, and why they think she's going to be so successful. And they put it into a video form, and that's a gift for her. Can you imagine that she's going to have that, you know, in 20, 30, 40 years, and of her whole family telling her what an incredible person she was or is. And you know what? That's priceless, because that's one of the things that's happening. We're telling each other how much we love and care about each other, and we're showing it by trying to be as close as we can, even though we're social distancing. And that kind of love lasts forever.
I think that's the thing, right? Like if COVID hadn't happened, then the graduations would have happened and all of these things. but now it's being documented. There's video messages, like you said, for this young person. You know, this is for life. This is something that she's going to hold on to and always be able to refer back to the year of 2020. And these messages will outlast the hardship of the year 2020. These messages of love, the communication, the relationships that we are building, and the fact that we're coming to the knowledge of not taking our life for granted, the people in our lives for granted, I think will outlast the hardship of 2020. So, you know, with that, I just want to kind of give you, I know we're just almost at the end of our time here, but I just wanted to kind of say, you know, thank you for showing up. Like, you've always come to Thursdays, and you've come with some great information, insights, and your stories. And I know today we don't have a meditation, but even those meditations, I think as we grow from this, you know, we show up in the way that best suits us or best is aligned. And I just want to say thank you, because you've really come every Thursday and supported our audience. So thank you for that.
Oh, I love being here, and I really enjoy talking with you and supporting the audience. And I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I'm grateful. So with that, I'm just going to come back and just say, for all of you that are listening and have joined in, please share the video. You never know who could be helped, or somebody that needs to hear it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Sharon or myself. We're here to support you in any way we can. And from that perspective, I just want you to know that you are a valued and very amazing human being that has a lot to give. And just tune into that, and reach out to anybody in your community or your groups that you feel comfortable with, and share that journey. So with that, I will close this session off. Tomorrow, Dr. Cheryl's going to be on the show, and we are going to be talking about something that I think is going to be very empowering. So please join us tomorrow. Wishing you a wonderful Thursday. Be kind to yourself and to others. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10.